Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of World Ablaze, the mod for Hearts of Iron 4. So far, it is mostly good. I almost said very good. Just sort of the end. It may be because of different versions, and it may be because delays. We did have this little hiccup of Yugoslavia deciding to go to war with Romania, or Romania going to war with Yugoslavia, or whatever. So that sort of made a bit of a hiccup on things, but it's doing pretty well. I'm liking it a lot. But I've noticed something here that, and I think I know why. These videos aren't getting a lot of views. World Ablaze. And I think it's because, and I've talked to Uncharted, he's watching this now, and so I'm sort of talking to him as well as but to all of you. And it's not a well-known mod, so it's not getting a lot of views on the channel, where I would easily be getting double the views, I believe, if I was playing a B-Ice game or something like that, Black Ice. So what I would really love, all the viewers who really want to see this continue, share the video with somebody, tell somebody about it, because it's my response. How good a video is all up to me, but YouTube doesn't just magically ever suggest videos to people unless the video gets views, the video gets likes, gets comments down below. So if you comment below on each of the videos in a series, it's going to tell YouTube that it's worth people engaging with it. On other platforms, social media, other forums, if you link to some of the videos, it really, really will help the viewers. And with YouTube seeing, hey, there's a lot of people interested in this, then they will start recommending it to other people. You prefer Black Ice. I can understand that, Alejandro. Black Ice have been having some problems for me. IKB talked to Colonial Rebel, who I was hosting just before starting this, that there are serious problems with Black Ice and invading the Soviet Union. As of a few weeks ago, I haven't been on top of it very recently, still existed in Black Ice, and they've reduced down the trading range so the Romanian oil cannot be traded with Germany. I mean, when you do things like that, it really goes, And we did see with France a reasonably good defense. And this is one thing that Black Ice really hasn't done, that Uncharted has done with this, is worked on the AI's combat capabilities. Oh, you meant you would like more World Ablaze. Well, very good. And so, and I want to get to the Soviet Union. I don't know if we're getting in there today. Probably not this episode for sure, but today's live stream. We might get to the invasion of the Soviet Union. So we're going to see how good the AI is doing. We always try New World Order. Germany wins World War II. Yeah, we might try that if we can't bump up the views on this, because I really just can't keep pushing a video that isn't getting views. I'll do what I can, try to make good videos, try to do good descriptions, try to make good thumbnails that people will click on. I've been putting it out on a few other sources. Combat width, 30 combat width for the win. That's very true. So so let's continue this. We're pushing in here. So that's just sort of my little motivational talk to people. If you guys want to see more, and I want to play this. Okay, you guys go there. You guys march around this way. No, they're not. Okay, they're not at war, so you're not allowing them to come through there. Okay, well that I understand. You come this way then. Hey, thanks for following. Really do appreciate it. Let's get that up there. Hello, a bunch of numbers. How you doing? Okay, so how many days until we get this 4 division invasion off the ground? Okay, so 55 days. Wow, I don't know if Albania will last 55 days. I'm doing great. Okay, Alejandro. Okay, panzers are pushing in. Okay, these divisions here. Come to there, see if you can make it through the British blockade. See if we can get Rommel's. Okay, we have more military factories. We're sort of running out of resources to some degree. Yeah, let's go with some heavy artillery. Additional heavy artillery. We are low on rubber, that's why we are building more synthetics plants. And we've maxed out Vichy. Siam, in my opinion, is too far away to trade. Not worth trading with Italy. That is part of our problem. Hey Yagashira, how you doing? Yes, I do remember you were from Rostock. We won't be visiting your city today, but sometime we'll get there. If in wartime my city is not being visited, that's a good sign. Yeah. Well, it's just more of a not yet. We'll get there. We'll visit your city. Don't worry. Looks like these guys might make it and make it here before. Things get too bad. Attack into Budapest. Yeah, you guys push there as well. Recently I've uploaded a mod that makes everything hard for the player. Integrated expert AI mod and added a bunch of other changes. Can't write his name. I can write his name if you want. I would be really appreciative if you look at my mod and you give me feedback. Okay, writing in the mod page, I have created a section for feedbacks, if you can tell. Okay, if you want to put a link to the mod to the workshop, that would be fine. Hey, Beam Salam, how you doing? Or Beam Slam, sorry, Beam Slam. Yeah, I remember. Notice the game was updated almost daily. Or more so than B-Ice. Yeah, Uncharted, who is around here right now, is working on it. Okay, oh, well, we took out Hungary. So it is done. Hungary, that is. I guess we want to take that down. I don't know whether we want to keep Hungary or release it as a puppet. Ultra hard. Okay. Cool. Thanks, 66, and a bunch of other numbers there. We are killing some. These are Dutch. Yeah, I presume those are Dutch submarines. We got a lot out here in the Med. Hello, the dirtiest steak. I think that's how you would say that. Yes, they're Dutch subs. Very good, Arno. I was expecting confirmation or a denial one way or the other. Okay, so now we... taking that out. This is going actually fairly nice that its Second Vienna Award is bypassed because Hungary no longer exists. Yeah, we should pick up, let's select all, put them here, and come down here so that they can plunge into Greece and save from there. Trying to get Napoleon Moscow achievement. So when I see London, British move their capital to Cairo. Okay. Because I mostly play with mods, I don't go for the achievements. Oh, I believe you. Denmark surrenders. Becomes controlled Nordics. And the iron price. Okay, Denmark has realized its untenable situation and has offered to surrender their country to us. This is an excellent opportunity to claim we are only protecting Denmark against Allied aggression. Okay, so we'll get some of the territory lost at the end of World War One. Oh, you know, possible. And becomes a puppet of the German Reich. Okay. Yeah, we'll go with that. Okay, now we can come here. Let's grab the first 4 divisions. I presume we can now. And there we go. Now we can set an invasion. Two divisions for me are the best. For Barbarossa. Northern/Weak, yes. We can see here, okay. You can see here that this is German territory, where this is no German territory. Well, wait a minute. State owner. Oh, Reichskommissariat is state owner there, and Reichskommissariat, where here is German Reich, right? And that is historically what happened. Better chance of a successful invasion. Turns to the Reich, yes. Invade Kyrgyzstan. Yeah, I don't know. I want to plunge in deep for Oslo very quickly. It may not be the best choice, but that's what I want to try. We've been taking out some Danish shipping there. Okay, since Denmark has surrendered, I want to talk about conditions, and Uncharted brought this up and was asking my opinion about France surrendering during World War II and the conditions. And so this is going to be a bit of a talk. You can jump ahead if you just want to see gameplay footage, those that are watching later. Paratroopers, we only have one unit of paratroopers, so they're not all that useful at the moment. Probably die very quickly. Good for limited things like going into an island, Cyprus or something. But okay. France, 1940. What conditions should be set for French surrender to be within the historical realities of the time? I want to say it that way because obviously we know what happened historically, but what if things were changed a little bit? What goes on? I look at a lot of things, and I've talked to Uncharted enough that he, hey OCB, good to have you here. That he wants a rather historical gameplay experience. So that's what what I'm talking about here is, and whether for game design or just looking at realistic alt history, not, hey, what if France goes communist or some other extreme thing. Now this is France as France in 1940. Okay. And unlike just about every war game that I know, Lorraine Francis probably goes to Germany. Yeah, they did grab up some territory there where this is, well, I guess we're actually where we've got cores on here. Well, not there, but there we've got cores. Oh, wait a minute, that is the German. That should be, I don't know. Okay, but France was a divided nation in 1939, 1940. If you look back into the early 30s, right? I think mostly around in this, and I should always look these things up before I start a talk like this. 34, 35, there's a real conflict between the various fascist movements in France and the communist movement, street battles and that type of thing. I think it's around there, maybe a little earlier. So France is divided between, and there's 4 different monarchist type parties. That none of them have large support, but they have fractional support that are there that divide the nation up. And there are two different Bourbonist factions and the Napoleonic faction, plus fascist elements, plus various sort of democratic type elements, socialist elements, and revolutionary Marxist and other type elements. So France is a fractured nation. And that really does affect things with France. But surrender conditions, like I was starting to say, most war games have the situation in which, whether it's the human or the AI, either one, they battle for Paris. Now, would the French have battled for Paris? Or was it some sort of supreme monument that they couldn't see damaged by war, so that they just has to be an open city? No, they would have fought if the conditions were right. Because we can look at the Franco-Prussian War, in which, and this is going to tie into what I'm talking about, which was a very long siege and was not hugely damaging. I'm not saying, yeah, okay, so if there was a chance to defend Paris, the French army would have fought for it. I don't think onto the scale and determination as something like Stalingrad. That was complete desperate defense. But if you look at and I know the guys from World War II in real time, the Indy Idel thing, has put out a brief video that shows the German and the French divisions moving day by day. But if you look at it, France commits all of its, and I know I'm jumping around here, but France commits all of its reserves to go into Belgium and the Netherlands a bit into the Netherlands. And that all gets cut off and basically destroyed. Yeah, some get evacuated out through Dunkirk and then get shipped back into France, but those units are destroyed. They're none of those units that evacuate out of France go through Britain and then get sent back into France are going to be capable fighting units. They're done for any campaign. Not all the soldiers are killed, but all their equipment's gone, their unit cohesion's gone. They're no longer an effective fighting force. And I will stand by that. They're done. So all of the forces north, that get cut off are destroyed. And that's basically all the French reserve. Now, there are French units down here, so they continue fighting for a while. Now, if you're going to have the French fight for Paris, then if you take France, my contention is if you take Paris, France collapses. Because they've given it their all. The army has done what it can do. It's fought for Paris, and that collapses. So now, in wargaming terms or whatever, if it's some sort of parachute landing or somehow there's, a few armored divisions that break through and run and get Paris without, holding anything else. No, that wouldn't be it. Just some sort of extreme case. But just generally speaking, if you take Paris and you take, the sort of northern bit of France up here, and the French have fought for it, France would collapse. And my evidence for this, and we can look at World War II, and we'll get back to that in a minute, is twice during Napoleon's reign. You have, after the Battle of Leipzig, Napoleon gets about 70,000 troops, spars, actually does a rather good campaign trying to defend the sort of region here from, I think it was mostly a Russian army coming in. But that gets defeated. They come in. There's not like direct fighting in Paris, but it's, it's in defense of Paris. France collapses. Napoleon gives up. Then, later on you have the 100 Days when he comes back in. He comes back, gets back into power for 100 days. He marches his army off to deal with the British and the Prussian and the sort of the Waterloo campaign, the 4 days there. Gets defeated. As soon as this time it's mainly a British force, at least initially, I think. Right, some other forces show up as well. But he gets in. He's done. Once the British come in and occupy Paris, he runs to, I don't know, La Rochelle or Bordeaux or something out here. Surrenders to the British, to the Billy Ruffin, Bellerophon is its official name, the ship. The Navy, the sailors called it the Billy Ruffin. And surrenders to the captain of that, and he's in prison. So there we have, and so the battle for Paris in that case is the Battle of Waterloo, effectively. And during the whole French Revolutionary period, before Napoleon comes to power, none of the quick rundown on a mod, a very realistic an attempt to make a very realistic mod for Hearts of Iron 4. I guess that would be the quick rundown. And are there, all the coalition against the French revolutionaries, none of them get near Paris. Twice during Napoleon's reigns, each time it ends it. Then what is it, 1870s, you have the Franco-Prussian War, in which the Prussians, basically, come in and besiege a long siege of Paris, and eventually they take Paris, and France basically surrenders. So this is my evidence for if the French will fight for it, once it's done, France surrenders. Now, why didn't it surrender in 1940? Because they didn't fight for Paris. They made it very clear to everyone, their citizens, the rest of the world, the Germans, whatever, that there is going to be no battle, no fight for Paris. Now, they're looking at when this happens, well, one, they're deluded. The leadership is deluded. They're down here in Bordeaux, I believe. I'm getting most of this coming from my readings more about Churchill and his attempts to keep the French in the war and dealing with the French High Command. That they, for a while, they give up Paris and evacuate the army down, I don't know, somewhere down here, try to hold along some of these river lines. And they're looking at, hey, yeah, sort of like the idea that we have that had Britain fallen, and obviously Japan only attacks, and then when Japan attacks, that brings America, because they attack America at the same time. So the Far East, India, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, South Africa, all of that probably would have kept fighting if you had evacuated the royal family and Churchill and they, fight on. They probably would have kept fighting. You have some vague idea of that within the French High Command. But they're fractured. They don't know what they're doing. Pétain is trying to keep things together. And so the Germans do press fairly deep into France, which just shows the French, they just don't have the ability to stop it. So that is why taking of Paris doesn't immediately collapse France in 1940, because they declared an open city, because there isn't perceived as a fight for France, because the way it's sort of perceived, as I get it, is that there was a fight for the Low Countries and they lost. The whole Dunkirk thing, that was lost. That wasn't at that time, because the Germans take a pause after that whole thing and get reoriented to then drive south into France. The French at that time are still sort of holding out hope that they're going to be able to reorganize their forces somewhere and hold, with British support, with support from their colonies. But once that is basically defeated, they're, forced down the south of Paris, or south of Paris, then France falls at that point, or they ask for terms. Okay, if one fight hard for the capital and it falls, I think it would make a big drop in morale to fight on, yes. If they're spirit, yeah. You have to look at sort of the conditions of the situation, but generally, maybe 50 minutes and we'll talk about slings and mammoths. Yes. Oh, so the mod is like, yeah, it's like Black Ice, but maybe a little less complicated. Trying to be a smarter AI. They also, Uncharted has done a lot of work on setting up realistic defenses and attacks for the AI. He's done a lot of that, which Black Ice hasn't. Oh, you're watching the 9.11 Black Ice. Cool. That's a good series. I just unlocked the Focke-Wulf 200 in War Thunder. Very good. You got, what is it? Yeah, nice plane. Very weak, though. Be cautious. The FW 200 is a very weak structural airplane. They lost a lot more to landing accidents upon return than they lost to enemy action, I believe, just because they, overstressed it. That was specifically the FW 200 was designed to be a transatlantic airplane, and so the So they designed it as lightweight as possible to be able to, fly from Germany to the United States. So it's, they did everything to keep it light instead of structurally strong, which you want in a military plane. Yeah, Scourge of the Atlantic. Were I to be offered to fly one of those today commercially, I'll pilot. Yeah, series is good, but boy, you do talk often about religion and stuff. Okay, yeah, sure. You can skip over them. I like to talk about historical commentaries and things, so yes, right. Okay, so we're going to continue this. So that's my evaluation of France and why it would or wouldn't surrender on the loss of Paris. Okay, we're going to come up here because we want to be near the port and push from there if we can. Denmark has capitulated. I'm not really worried about this because I'm more problems than. Well, I guess we could build some artillery. That might not take any more rubber. How are we doing for the air war? Okay, so we're doing fairly good there. Down here, okay. You could be attacking in Greece. Yeah, you could be operating over there. That's good. Okay, now we did get another slot free. November. Yeah, that bomb damage vulnerability would be. Okay. We're getting our Panzer Force down here to take out Greece. We're moving to the front there. Our naval bombers are striking down here. Good. Trying to keep the British from dominating the situation in the Mediterranean. I don't get why War Thunder puts the... they don't put aircraft in War Thunder in any sort of historical context. Well... No. The America bomb. Okay, they put War Thunder. I'm not sure. Yeah, no, because the research is sort of in historical context. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, there's a lot of things wrong with War Thunder. It's still the best, in my opinion. And if I did recently get a copy of Postscriptum, I'm going to play it. I haven't yet. I mean, just in the last week or so. And that would be nice. Oil. Yeah, we'll do the oil now. But still, War Thunder to me is the best tank driving and probably the best aircraft flying game out there. You can tell me I'm wrong and show me something better, and I would happily switch over to it. But and don't tell me World of Tanks, because World of Tanks is much, much worse than whatever War Thunder might be. Yeah, they're not meant to do the historical accuracy thing. I totally realize that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put in the Motorized Infantry Division. We're going to take the first 3 Panzer divisions and we're going to attack from here down into there to cut them off. We're gonna let the other 3 divisions sort of get rested up here. These guys are driving to the front. Don't want to overstress the supply capabilities. Okay. One more division can come into that. Okay, you can, yeah, push this way to Thessaloniki. Hey, Mad Brad, how you doing? And Darren Clark's here. Very good. How you doing? Hope you have a good morning as well, or afternoon, or whatever it is. Yeah, War Thunder's still better than the alternative. Yeah. Oh, I'm happy to listen to and may agree with anyone's complaints about War Thunder. There's a lot to complain about. Trust me, I often do. I found a bug last night and posted it in the Discord forum for War Thunder. Right now, if you have the Panzer 4J Aus J and you fire the machine guns, it also discharges a smoke grenade. Some of the stuff they're working to fix, some of the stuff is just conceptual design flaws that they think are features and not bugs, I guess would be the way to put that. Nice and take control of foreign affairs. Okay. You come this way. See if you can come down into, all the way down into Athens. Yeah, that's exactly it. And you know, I've played just a little teeny bit of World of Tanks and watched a few videos. World of Tanks isn't terrible. It's just not nearly as good. So in comparison, it's not so great. But okay, keep coming up. Okay, yeah, I don't want you guys. Let's go some. Guess the way I can put it is if there was only World of Tanks, I'd probably be playing it. Well, it looks like we're not going to save them, and I think we're just going to go with the Panzer Army. Why aren't you guys coming in here? Just rough terrain? Okay, fuel refining, very good. Thanks, Arno. Okay, 65 days oil processing. Yeah, we'll do that early. Gotta keep from losing all of our oil. I know we could start importing more, but I would prefer to also just get ours. Just what's so beaten up terrain. Okay. Oh, well, the Italians somehow got back to the port. Well, let's cancel that. Let's see if we can go to the port. Oh, no. Yeah, this to there. Yeah. See if you can get in before the... They're actually trying to evacuate out that way. We're sending in reinforcements. I still think Hearts of Iron 4 has such potential. It's just lost potential. Okay, well, I guess I'm afraid that they'll take Tobruk, so I'm going to push around that way to hopefully cut these guys off. No, actually, let's... No. You come there, you come there, from there to there. That would cut them all off. Hey, politics, I guess is how you say that. How you doing today? Okay, you swing up and around that way. Okay, well, we're ashore, and we have a fairly large army ashore. Very good. You march up that way. I guess we'll just, you march to there, you march to there, you march here to here, you march here to here, you march here to here, and you attack there. Oh, well, I mean, you have great potential here. You know, Hearts of Iron 3 is a great game. I love it, especially with Black Ice. I really love it. But, you know, making equipment instead of, you know, instead of building divisions, you make equipment and you train divisions. That is a significant improvement over Hearts of Iron 3. You have variable resources used, because in Hearts of Iron 3, the resources to make a tank, you know, an armored unit, is the same resources to make a cavalry unit or whatever. Now, it may take more resources or less resources depending on the cost of the unit and the length of time it takes to make them, but it's the same set of resources. Where here, you're basing the resources on what it takes to make those, basically. So it's things like that. And, you know, there's just so much stuff like that it has such potential. That's part of the reason I keep playing it, even though I like the other better. But part of the reason is also I know that Hearts of Iron 4 is not going to get any better than it is, because they're not working on it anymore. Okay, we're attacking and... Okay, stop attacking, because we're attacking too weak. It wasn't coordinated. And they're getting some sort of buffs, I think. I don't know. Okay, let's look at the air positions. Okay, the British are controlling it. So, you know, you see the fall down of the AI early on. It's still not all that great. Yeah, North Africa, our air looks fairly good. So I was thinking about sending more down there, but I don't want to stress out the supply system more than it probably already is, but I think we need the other 3 Panzer divisions down there. I think they'll make it through. We did lose one of our subs there. Okay, move 2 of the Panzer divisions there so we can attack from 2 directions. Yeah, I like the on-map order of battle with the HQs. I really do like that. But I understand why people don't like it. And I also understand because the AI never did well with the fronts and whatnot, in my opinion, with Hearts of Iron 3. So, you know, the micromanagement, where you don't have that so bad in Black Ice because they've extended the command radius for a lot of stuff. I like the stuff on map, but I can live with the stuff like this off map, you know, here, the command structure. So this is not terrible, but a corps level and then a divisional level commander. I wrote down more years ago now a real quickie sort of if-then type programming, you know, just not programming, but you know what for the AI to figure out for assigning divisional generals, because it does such a fucking poor job in Hearts of Iron 3 assigning generals to divisions, that either you're going to live with a really poor job or you're going to spend a lot of time micromanaging it. And most people don't like micromanaging it. So they got rid of all of that. Instead of fixing the problem, they got rid of the problem. And that's what they've done a lot with Hearts of Iron 4. And so instead of fixing problems, they got rid of the problem. You know, so I don't know beyond that what should be done. You know, I mean, because you could put divisional generals back. You could have corps, army, and army group. And if you want a theater level command, that would be nice. But and if it was done well, people don't want it because they've seen it done poorly. You know, you go, you put somebody in a, oh, I don't know, you put somebody in a Model T and you drive them around and go, this is a car. Oh, okay. I don't know if any of you have ever ridden in a Model T. I have a bunch. And you drive around, this is a car. And I go, oh, this sucks. Cars suck. Who would want a car? You know, taking the bus or taking train, so much nicer. So if their only experience is riding in a Model T, but then you put them in a nice modern Mercedes or something, hey, this is great. Riding in a car is wonderful. So when all you've ever had is something bad, and then people will, do you want it? And I go, no, it was bad. As opposed to, hey, do you want this that works nice, works well? You support that attack. You support that attack. No province there, it looks like it. Okay. So I covered up with everything here. And you guys push into there. You support that attack. This is the front system, planning system, the AI bad. No HQs, unrealistic deployment of air wings across hostile or neutral. Yeah, that's ugly map. Yeah, OCB, you and I can do that and find enjoyment in it. A lot of other people just won't. And I get that. And see, notice I've often said fix instead of get rid of. And so there's a lot that could be fixed with it. Yeah, the air zones I could almost live with if and be happy, not because obviously we're living with them, we're playing with them here, but and be happy if you stop and you attack there, if they didn't teleport across other air zones. But because they won't, it's a problem. Okay, our reinforcements are almost here. Now let's look at our current panzer divisions. Okay, let's see, if we were to add in another thing of medium tanks. What? No, let's cancel this. Let's add a medium tank here. How are we doing in motorized infantry divisions? We could go up in width here. Heavy support artillery. No, maybe not. So maybe keep some of the speed up, I guess. I don't know. Okay, max speed if we add this. Let's see what the heavy support artillery max speed would do to it, if anything. No, we're still okay. Wait up. I don't know. Maybe we'll just keep this. I agree. I'd love to see at least corps commanders, even better divisional commanders. Building custom units that existed in the Wehrmacht Jaeger divisions and alarm units. I agree with you. Okay, now all of those you're talking about, the custom divisions, can be done now in Hearts of Iron 4. You can make a division template that is unbuildable, that you can't just copy and make more of. So you can build unique divisions. But the one thing you can't do now, or can't do in Hearts of Iron 4, and I don't think you could ever do it, is transfer a battalion, brigade, whatever, from one division to another. So like if you have a veteran unit, you can't attach it to a green unit. That's the one thing you can't do. But you can spec out and have a unique historical divisions if you want to mod that in. And you take a modder to do it. And then, hello, Führer, I guess. Hello. Enjoyed it yesterday when I jumped off the 9th floor apartment building. He crashed through the roof of a supermarket and landed right in the middle of the cheese section. Okay. I don't know quite where that came from, but yeah. Division would be a pain a lot for players coding the AI. It would be helpful. No, politics, I think it's pretty damn easy to do it. Just use a nice flags, have a flag for, what you do is here, and I'll explain how it would work. What I would do is, each of these sort of main types of units here would have a flag, and then you would have flag priorities. Like a panzer unit would have greater priority than a motorized flag. Paratrooper unit would have higher priority flags and whatnot. So then you go, hey, list of divisional generals. We have a paratrooper division. Do we have somebody with a paratrooper flag? Yes, no. Sign them, yes. If not, put a different. And it wouldn't be that hard to do, I don't think. I'm not an AI programmer, but I can draw out all the if-then statements out on a piece of paper to have it work. And I presume an AI programmer could program the if-then. If I can do the if-then statements, an AI programmer could achieve it. But that's just me. I'm doing well. Yeah, what did you say, Arno? I said cheese it. Okay. You keep the pressure up. Okay, well, we've taken Athens, so let's put you there. Okay, no, you haven't made it to shore yet, have you? Come on, get ashore. There we go. Now get reorganized, get ready, and then we'll attack. Ooh, there's 8 divisions, so let's move these 3 here. Maybe we'll, instead of the original plan, we'll see if we can cut off those divisions. Move to there. Okay, you just sort of walk up there and walk back down there. Okay, you guys stop going that. You come this way. You guys come this way. You come this way. You head this way now. No, you can turn. You can head that way instead. Okay, may I ask what you do for a living? Not a whole lot right now. I'm focusing on YouTubing. Yeah, you sure? I've done many different things I'm not going to go into in my life. Yeah, there's always going to be areas that somebody, because it's such a big thing, you know, a global war simulator, you know, of a global war. There's always going to be a lot of stuff going on, and there's always going to be stuff that people won't like micromanaging, even if they like some of it, some of the what you would call micromanage. And something like trade, I could be happy with turning that over to a smart AI to do, if I felt confident that the AI was smart enough to handle it. Which I don't understand why Greece hasn't collapsed yet with us taking Athens and all of that up north. Yeah, I know they still have Peloponnese out here, at least some of the Peloponnese. $5,000 subs quickly. Well, I'm heading that way. I really do appreciate everyone who subs to the channel. You don't know how much I value all you viewers there. Yeah, I'm asking because history would be the thing I'd like to have studied too, but didn't because I considered my job chances. Yeah, no, I'm not a teacher or anything like that. I guess I'm not left-wing enough to be a teacher. You know, I actually think communism is bad. I actually, you know, because I've talked to, you know, various viewers over the years doing this, and you know, one of them who seemed like he was a kid in the sense that, you know, a late teens, early 20s. I don't mean, you know, younger than that, but you know, well, of course, communism ideally would be best if it could be achieved, or something like that. You know, as the premise that we were talking about, that if you could achieve communism, you know, real, actual, you know, idealistic communism, it would be the best thing. And God, no, I think that would be horrid, even without having to kill millions of people. I think communism as a concept is horrid. I don't want equality of outcome for people. Now, that doesn't mean I want people to starve. You know, it isn't a binary choice. It isn't a either you're, you know, you want to make sure people have the basic needs met, means that you think that everything should be equal for everybody. I don't want things equal. Gamer is history. I'm not quite that old. Yeah, I know my fuel isn't looking good. Let's see if we can get some more from the Soviet Union. And maybe even more. Communism is based on the assumption that individuals don't have free will. Capitalism based on the assumption that people aren't selfish and greedy. Both ideologies are wrong in their assumptions. Okay, well, to understand Adam Smith, you have The Wealth of Nations, which he puts out capitalism, and Moral Sentiments is the book that goes along with it, which he puts out his moral philosophy that he thinks both are needed. Capitalism is like in sort of modern sense, for all you modern kids out there who might not understand. Capitalism is like a blockchain type thing, like Bitcoin, or like a torrent, in which it's the decisions are distributed out there, not a single central processing unit that's commanding all the command economies. It's everybody's out there making their own choices. But capitalist society is practiced since its inception has been very cruel for most. No, I would say the opposite, Darren Clark. Capitalism has lifted so many people out of poverty. It's incredible. Capitalism has brought prosperity to so many people that did not have it before. So you've been filled with anti-capitalist propaganda if you don't understand. Yeah, see, yes, Yarga, sure. I want my gun collection to be better than your gun collection. You know, now that doesn't mean I want you to be going hungry at night. I don't want that at all. Now, I don't like caviar, but if somebody likes caviar or something super expensive like that, and they can afford it and I can't, you know, even if I like it, oh well, you know, okay, we don't get all the luxuries in the world. You know, we all don't get a private jet. Okay, we have just one more. Okay, I'm just going to throw on another submarine. So I don't want equality of outcome. I don't want that. I don't mind if you have more than I do. Is equity in the decision making, basically democracy everywhere. No, that isn't communism, not at all. I don't okay, nothing. I don't believe in anything pure. And people are involved, so things get effed up. I mean, that's just with everything. So if you go, oh well, this was bad under capitalism, yeah, but it's 10 times better than it would be under any other system. So if you're comparing capitalism to a some unrealistic ideal, yeah, you'll find flaws in it, but but if you compare it to everything else, it's always better. Well, goodbye, Fuhrer. I don't have a private jet. Yeah, and I don't mind. Oh, they've even been pushed out of here. I don't mind that some people have private jets. That's fine with me. If somebody has a private jet, I don't care. Well, of course you do, Arno. You're Dutch. I thought all Dutch people had. That was just a presumption I had, that all Dutch people have private jets. So yeah, I'm not suitable for the modern day academic world. Okay, what is this holy hell that I can't? We're defending, okay, let's stop attacking there. Let's move another division down there. Let's send a division down here to make sure we're not flanked. You come back there to help hold that. Yeah, that's human nature. So if you're talking about the corruption in capitalism, you're just talking about human nature, not about how good or bad that particular system is. That's my evaluation of it. So whenever somebody, whether in academic circles or somebody else, talks about, well, this corrupt thing and this corrupt blah, 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 and often they talk about, you see, when a leftist talks about capitalism, they're often not talking about capitalism. They're talking about people with capital. See, if you talk about capitalism and you're a socialist, which also includes communists and all these other philosophies to the Marxist ideal, they often go throw in mercantilism, what we might call state capitalism, other sorts of. The capitalist isn't somebody who believes in market economics, is meaning he has capital, he has a factory, he has land, he has money, he has a machine that does something, could be cleaning out the drains, in a house or an apartment or whatever. He has capital. That is a capitalist. To a socialist is somebody who has capital. But when we're talking really about capitalists and capitalism, is free market capitalism. and to have and that term free is an essential element there. So if you have a monopoly situation, whether the monopoly is run by the government or whether the monopoly is like a railroad monopoly like we had in the latter part of the 19th century here in America, or something like that, where you have a monopoly, you no longer have what? A free market. So if you want to go, oh, well, the robber barons of the 18th century were controlling the railroads in these parts, and yeah, that's no longer a free market. That part of the economy was no longer capitalistic or free market capitalism. It was now became a monopoly. That's, I guess, monopolyism or whatever. And yeah, they were capitalists in the sense that they owned all the capital. But that is not what capitalism is. And that is what is often attacked by the left, is not free market capitalism. They're attacking some corporate owning of a major section of the economy, that kind of thing. That's where you where people mistake criticisms of capitalism, is when they're looking at non-capitalistic, non-free market capitalism. Well, I would say the U.S. is one of the best countries in the world, if not the best country, is that it is the least bad country, so the least corrupt. Not that it's not corrupt, it's just less than just about everybody else. And definitely the U.S. is the least corrupt of a major power type situation. You know, because we can look at, oh, Iceland is less corrupt or something. Well, okay, 1 year living in Iceland, so it's already half the way down on is it as good as America, because it's freaking Iceland. I just mean up there in ice and cold. But you know, scales of situation for something the size of the U.S. or even, you know, marginally, you know, yeah, Russia, you know, or China or India or whatever. Yeah, America is the least corrupt. Yeah, corrupt. Yeah, Alejandro, I have not been there, of course, but yeah, no, it's corrupt. And so if you're talking about the scale of potential corruption and the scale of the economy and the government, America is the least corrupt. Like again, you look at, oh, Luxembourg's less corrupt. Well, maybe, but it's freaking Luxembourg. You know, it's a little thing, and we can all, you know, you can literally, a person in Luxembourg can literally go meet every other Luxembourger and maybe even remember all their names. I mean, it's that small of a world that it's possible. So you can, so the leader of, whether it's a president or prime minister, I don't know, or whatever, of Luxembourg, but he can literally go meet. It might, I mean, I'm not going to say it might not take years, but he can literally go meet every single one of his citizens and go talk to them. So, you know, that is, you know, just the way it goes. Well, very good, Darren. And so, yeah, you know, because I firmly believe, and my evidence is my experience with it, is that the modern academic left is trying to tear down America. That's their goal. But there's also idealists out there that compare whatever's going on in America or historically or something against the perfect, against the ideal. And you go, oh, this could be better. Yeah, there's a lot of things that could be better. But if you go, but when you talk about how good or bad things are in the U.S. or how good or bad can things be done, can they be done? You have to go compared to what? You know, what does it better? I keep hearing conservatives in America, because there are a lot of them are free market types. The government does everything terrible compared to private industry. Things should be privatized. Because if you put in government, say, running the airlines, like if you were to nationalize the airlines, they'll be crappy. And I would agree, they would be crappy. But the government does everything worse than privatized, except for the Army. They do the Army the best. The government does the Army the best. How do they know? Have they experienced and examined mercenary armies in the modern world? Maybe they would get the war done with half the casualties at half the cost. So, you know, government is just, is a bad thing, but it's a necessary thing. It's like doctors. I don't ever want to go see another doctor or dentist. I don't ever want to go to the dentist ever again in my life. And you're lying to me if you tell me that, unless you have some weird kinky fantasy, you don't ever really want to go to the doctor or the dentist ever again in your life. Okay? You don't want to do that. But you need to do that. And you're very grateful for the doctor or the dentist who fixes your problems. So you're very grateful that they exist, and they may be very nice people, and they make the visit nice as it can be. So the doctor or the dentist, you appreciate him or her. I mean, it's, you know, I use him often, but I don't mean it to be gender whatever. And so, but you have to take it that way. And that's the truth of it. So doctors, you don't want to meet. It's like policemen, you don't want the police to be here unless you need them. You know, when you see, and I don't care the race of your skin in America, when you see a police car behind you, you get nervous. Now, maybe black people get more nervous because of either their experience or experience of people close to them. I'm not going to judge their experience because I've not had their experience with the police. But yeah, I get nervous when a police car is behind me. You know, now I may be just more worried about a ticket. But boy, if there's a drunk driver out there, I want him to go get arrested by the police. And police have been turned into revenuers in many areas that they have quotas to do, and so. And that is part of the corruption of the system, in that mostly its cities generate a significant part of their revenue from fines and other, you know, things assessed like that. Greece has finally capitulated. Very good. Looks like there's an Aegean island thingy here. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Okay, I'm finding this rather unhistorical. I don't know about you, and I know sometimes it can seem very much like a club I'm beating Uncharted with. But when I've got, what, 6 Panzer divisions and a motorized division down here, and I'm seeing, I guess these are strong divisions, all these British divisions down here. It seems like a bit overkill. Not that they need to do the historical matchups, but when it's this strong, it seems a bit much. Okay, well, we're going to end this episode, not the live stream, but the episode. I want to thank everyone watching. Thanks for liking the videos. If you haven't already, of course, you made it this far, you better be subscribing to the channel. And if you want to, you know, come and hang out some Saturday or whatnot, please do with us. And, of course, I want your comments on all the topics that we have been talking about or playing with the game. See you next time for more, yes, more Hearts of Iron.